to get tight to that baulk cushion again.
Yes, moving the yellow and blue into play in those couple of shots he played at his last visit. He's gone from about a 50 to 1 chance to win the frame to a 4 or 5 to 1 chance to win the frame.
This time I think there is a gap between the green and blue, but nothing that will give him an opportunity to get back to baulk off those two reds. And as I say, the one along the top cushion, at the moment he's thinking that might be a little bit of insurance. Is he taking the pot on? Half-hearted attempt, and he's left the red on here. I think it was a half-hearted attempt at the pot there, you know. Stephen can get through to this red, to the middle. I'm not saying it's easy. There's quite a distance between the two balls, and it's straight. It's got to be so accurate with the cueing. Doesn't have to do anything with the cue ball. If he pots the red, bound to be on at least the yellow.
If this back red on the cushion was tight on the cushion, there'd been a missable all week rolling them along, but surely the red in the middle is the right shot.
And it's a big shot. Well played. Now as he runs far enough past the blue to be on the yellow. Good shot. It was made a little easier. If it had been straighter, funnily enough, that would have been a more difficult shot. Well, he's thinking about the blue, but if he could cut the yellow in, he might be able to release that red along the top cushion, but blue it is. $19 points in arrears now. He's getting his way back into this frame, Wills.
Absolutely. I mean, one good pot on the pink here, and if he gets an angle on the pink to leave that red along the back cushion, needs to be on that red along the back cushion about 3/4 ball. All of a sudden, it's almost even money who's going to win this frame. Oh, didn't get very close to that, and he could have had a result.
Maguire,
and he has had a result.
Well, the run of the balls favouring Stephen Maguire. There you see it. He can hit the red, but he can't pot it. He couldn't even swerve to pot it. All the skill that's involved in snooker, and yet the run of the balls can win you a lot of frames. Does he think he can swerve and pot this? No, I didn't think it was on. I didn't think it was on. And this red, he's left. Okay, you're unlucky not to have it left, but didn't think he could get enough swerve on that. As he was going back, a wry smile, probably to his camp up in the balcony. Well, Stephen didn't take advantage of it. Now, surely the blue's not come to his rescue, has it? Well, would you believe it? Would you believe that? He snookered Ali on both reds. And you can hear under his breath, unbelievable. That's what he thinks about it. That's Peter Ebden, who's been in Ali's corner. He knows what a run of the ball can do. Well, we all do as snooker players. But that's amazing to get away with it twice.
And if he can reach it without using the rest, he will play the swerve. Otherwise, the swerve's not on. Now, can he reach it? This is just amazing. Missed it by 2 or 3 inches as well, so consequently the cue ball ran not as far as it would have done if he got near the pot. If he got near the pot, the cue ball would have been well over the other side. Well, with him getting the spider out, I can only presume he is playing the swerve. Well, even if he misses it, he deserves to get this safe, because that's cruel what's happened in the last couple of shots.
Foul and a miss.
Oh dear, this is a free ball as well. Will he bring the black into play?
Free ball.
Yeah, free ball, but is there value in the free ball? I don't think so. I think you've got to have this replaced. Okay, you could think, well, I could roll the brown in the middle and use it as a red, but then if you miss the brown and the pressure on it, you'd be leaving this red on. Got to have it replaced for me.
Well, the other alternative, John, just in case he gets the swerve and pots the red, put him back in from here. Unless he can see the edge of the red by the yellow. Can he pot the red by the yellow?
Fair point. I'm looking down the line. I think he can hit the red.
Can't pot it though, John. Can he? I think he's almost got to put it back in from there.
I'd have it replaced.
You'd risk him getting the swerve second time?
Absolutely. I didn't fancy him getting the swerve with the spider, but he's asked Leo Scullion to put the spider away, which tells me he's thinking of taking the brown on.
Well, that's the only thing that, for me, you can't do.
Well, this is a pressure pot, if ever you've seen one. Wow.
Put that up 20 times in practice, John. How many times did you pot that?
Well, I wouldn't have played it, certainly not then, and certainly not in this situation.
He was back in the game, he was in control of the safety exchange.
And he's put it down to one difficult pot on the brown. Amazing.
We keep saying it, John, but this crucible can make you play some strange shots. It really can.
Well, it can, but also I think you've sort of got to get vibes, haven't you? You know, he's had two massive results as Stephen, where he's fluked the snooker. So, if the balls are running for you, why risk this? You've had a bit of luck, it's, as you say, got you right back in the frame, and then you're playing a shot like that, which was, well, not even an even money chance to me. Particularly when he could have had it replaced and had his opponent snookered. Anyway, he's not on the red, so Stephen Maguire may still get another chance. Ali Carter 21 ahead, 35 remaining. 9 hours, just over 9 hours this match has been on. This is the fourth session.
Ali Carter,
and it's been real hard for match snooker.
Well, as we always say, those jaws have been there forever, and that's a poor shot from Ali to catch those jaws. He could have had him in trouble there.
Send off this, maybe cannon the black and bring it into play. Well, can he sneak behind it? Can he sneak behind it? Wow. It was that good, I might even forgive him for playing the brown.
Okay, we all know that it's not what you do here, it's whether you can get away with it if you hit it. The only good thing for Ali is the brown where it is, so brown to blue would be tough if he does hit the red and leave it on. Might be playing this a bit pacey. Oh, unlucky.
Foul and a miss. Steve Maguire, 4.
Well, there'll be no hesitation in putting this back, I'm certain. Because this is a tough one. The problem is he can't go off the... he's got to make it a 3-cushion escape because the blue's in the way of the 2-cushion. That's the line.
Foul.
Well, the green's in the way as well.
Steve Maguire, 4.
Okay, referee, get your jigsaw out. I don't think the blue was on the spot. No, it was the blue was the reason this was getting more difficult, this snooker, because the blue was in the way. No, up here, up here, up here, up here, left a little, left a little.
The golden shot. What a program that was.
Yeah, Charlie Williams. Now, this is where they were, and where are they now? It's pretty good. Did well there, the referee.
Take the green.
The blue, Ali's asking, was the blue on its spot? No, it wasn't. Those balls are absolutely perfect where they were. Oh, apparently the green was slightly off its spot, we're hearing.
Well, he knows the angle's on because the first time he played it, he missed it by an accident. The fact that he hit it harder last time squared it up off his second cushion. If he doesn't play it quite as hard as last time, we know that angle's on.
Foul, and a miss. Steve Maguire, 4.
So difficult. And of course the reason he's playing it with so much pace is he's hoping that when he hits the red, he'll send the red one end of the table and leave the cue ball the other. That's why this extra pace is being put in.
Yeah,
but,
a minute ago, John, the brown was in his favour. It's almost not becoming in his favour now.
Well, you can't get any closer.
And a miss. Steve Maguire, 4.
Well, just shows you he had a big lead until this snooker. But let's be fair, it was a terrific snooker. Whether it was worth all these points or not, I don't know. The difference is now just 5. Ali Carter is in front.
Foul, and a miss. Steve Maguire, 4.
Well, he's nearly put it back himself. Yeah, I don't know why the referee's looking at Stephen Maguire. I don't think... The only way he might get out of his chair if a free ball was left. Oh, well, this is amazing. He's just straightening up off that third cushion.
Did the referee not call a miss there? This is where I do agree with the referee, because this is a really tough snooker. And if he's made that decision, I think that's what the referees have got to do now and again. They've got to stand up and be counted, and I congratulate him for that.
Well, Stephen playing the double. So close.
That's one of those situations where it was really a tough snooker to hit, and the fact that he missed it by an absolute fraction, I don't know how that red didn't go in, by the way.
No.
He missed the snooker by, you know, a hair's breadth virtually, and I think that was a really good decision. Tend to have a go at them now and again. The referees do a wonderful job. Sometimes the rules don't let them do what they should.
But that was a tremendous pot from Ali Carter, and now he's got a chance. The brown's the big problem ball, but super pot.
Well, having seen what's just gone on for Ali in the last few shots, to be able to knock a ball in like that, that really was first class.
And it's not going to be easy, this, because, and particularly if he's come straight on the yellow, and he looks straight enough, because he needs a good angle on the green to get down for this awkward brown. And this is the longest frame of the match in its 45th minute. Just forced an angle.
6.
Now, he's got plenty of cue power as Ali Carter. He's going to need every bit of it to get position on the brown.
Yes, it depends. Well, he's just got enough. He may be able to stun down off one cushion. Just missed the jaws of the middle pocket. He's probably playing the direct screw, actually. Missing the kiss on the pink's a problem if he plays that. Well, you talked about cue power, John. That was cue power for Maguire. And he's unlucky not to. Well, he's got a good angle. But what a shot that was.
Absolutely. It's what you call delayed screw. Just watch the white. Went forward and then reacted. And couldn't have played it better. But believe me, if he's going to get good on the blue, this brown isn't a gimme.
Oh.
But cued it absolutely perfectly. And just the blue to go 15 points in front with 13 remaining.
Well, if this blue goes in, you have to take your hat off to Ali Carter. He's played 3 or 4 shots in this break. And the first red for me was just having seen, given 20-odd points away on the snooker. Brilliant.
He'll be careful here because there's only one snooker needed. Needs this pink to go in to be certain.
Ali Carter, 18. And the frame.
Well, I'm surprised Stephen Maguire didn't try and keep that pink out, but Ali Carter, after a very hard-fought frame that took over 46 minutes, he stretched his lead to 5, 15-10.
Was that pink a lost cause in terms of being able to snooker?
It looked like it. It looked like it to me. But unusual because Stephen Maguire's one of the best at getting snookers. So strange they didn't play on, but it looks a bit dejected.
Yes, indeed. And you were saying, as we were watching that, Stephen, just how important this opening frame is, obviously, to Stephen Maguire's hopes of getting back into this match.
That's right, yes, and it looked like he had Ali Carter absolutely up against the ropes with the snooker that was going to be a miss forever. But it's the referee's call as to whether the miss is called all the time, and Leo decided that that cue ball got so close to the red. I mean, we're talking a hair something, that so close to that red that actually it wasn't a miss. Other referees would have continued to call it, saying there wasn't much difference between the first escape and that they're all the same route. The escape route was with enough power that if he missed it, he was going to leave it safe. It's a really tough judgment call, but the miss rule wasn't invented to punish players. It was actually to stop players cheating. Really, that's the essence of it. Ali Carter wasn't trying to cheat in the end, he was just desperately trying to hit the ball.
Yeah, it was a properly honest attempt to go for that, wasn't it?
Yeah, and a brave decision by the referee, because a lot of referees might be just content just to keep calling a miss until he either left a putt on or hit it.
OK, well, here we go. Ali Carter is inching towards the finishing line now, just 2 frames away from a place in the final.
Well, I've got to be honest, even though it was the longest frame in the match, we never knew until the very last moments who was going to win that frame. Ali Carter was an absolute certainty halfway through it when he led by 50 points with black, blue safe. And Maguire somehow got back into it, and we just talk about that brown. Was it the right choice to take it? We'll never know. But the confidence of winning the previous frame made that putt a little easier.
Four. 5.
Perfect angle on the black now to do what he likes. Maybe the red immediately above the black, he can stun into that, and that could release other reds. It just depends how you see it when you're down on the shot. Well, he's a bit straighter than that, so maybe there's a loose red he can play for. Looked like he had a good angle, but maybe not. So playing for either a red to the right corner or one to the right middle.
12.
Well, the red to the right corner looks like a shot to bring reds into play and stay on the black. Decided on the one in the middle, which is obviously a lot easier.
13. $18. 19.
Well, he used all the pocket for that. Now, if he hasn't got just a bit wide, wasn't it? But there is that red that's slightly open, but he can play a little cannon here, release both of these reds. Yeah, played it nicely. Now, you could favour playing the one that's closest to the main bunch, and then you pot that and just stun off the bunch and bring a few reds into play, but playing the easier red and still opening them up.
27.
Didn't get into the cue ball. Well, maybe got into the cue ball enough, but sometimes you can hit them too hard, don't you? I mean, it just delays the screw and the cue ball went forward, and by the time it's coming back, there was too much of a wall to get through.
I must admit, I thought he hit it well enough to get through them, though, John, but he's actually put himself in a little bit of trouble here. Obviously, path to balk's no problem.
Yeah.
Well, asking for the spider, is he going to try and return to the balk, or is he just going to knock the black up the side cushion? Here's the split. Just watch the white. It goes forward, and then it comes back, but that all of a sudden it's hitting that third red full in the face. Don't want to risk.
Thank you. Ali Carter,
Go
27.
back to the balk end. So we'll be thinking it was a better opportunity than just to score 27, but he's left it safe enough. Well, Stephen Maguire having a look at the possibility of a plant to the left middle. Ali Carter 2 frames away from a place in the final. I wouldn't get too desperate. As long as you got him 2 frames away, then, you know, you feel as though you can get back in it.
If this plant is a certain plant, he kisses the red and stays on the pink. So if it's an absolute certainty, well, it looks like it's just at the top jaw, doesn't it? So it looks pretty good, though.
Yep. I think if you was right behind it, you'd play it. But from where he is, well, I think he's considering taking on the red to the right middle. Ooh, so close. But that's been the story of this match for Stephen Maguire, I'm afraid. So near, and yet so far.
Yes, we know the only red he could have left on is the one he's gone for, but he's very unlucky to have left it with a pot in the middle. I mean, that's how close the red was. Almost gave itself up, and it's just rolled, as you can see, next to the blue. The red is available. He's already 27 points in front, so a good chance here to get a really good lead in this frame.
Yeah, just watching the slow-mo again on that red in the middle. It was like the double he played in the last frame, wasn't it? That's the fractions. If that double had gone in the last frame, he could have won that, and who's to say if that one hadn't gone on, he'd have won this. So that middle pocket at the moment, not being kind, it looked for all the world it had dropped.
5.
I think Ali may be able to play for the black here in the opposite corner. I mean, it'll certainly make the red to the left of the black available. Just looking where he'd have to leave the cue ball. Doesn't want to have too thin a potting angle on the black.
Six.
Well, decided not to risk playing for the black. Need a good shot now to get on the next red. Okay, as we said before about his cue power.
Eight.
Well, superb shot.
Yeah.
Very, very talented snooker player is Ali Carter. Sometimes people may question his temperament. Gets a bit down on himself at times, but boy, he's applied himself very well in this match.
9.
And over a long session, as these matches are now when we come to the semi-final and final, that's what you've got to do. Not every ball can run your way.
Steve Maguire had a good look at this plant earlier on. Ali has a chance of getting, as John mentioned, directly behind it. Steve Maguire had it at an angle which may have thought would have been a missable plant.
Looks like it's just going to the near jaw, doesn't it? Are they close enough so you could think you could reverse them?
And I also think they can play it as a shot to nothing and get on the black as well. If he leaves the white where the black is, he can play a little stun shot on the plant and get on the black in the same pocket he's potting in now.
Yeah, I mean, if he had a slight angle on the black with his cue power, he could pot the black and screw directly back into the reds, but I'm not certain he's got that angle. Oh, he might be able to. Oh, he's going for the plant. He's going to play the plant.
16.
Stephen Maguire was in a position where he looked at this, but he turned it down because he thought it was too risky. But as I said at the time, if he was straight behind it, he'd have played it. And in it goes. "44 points the lead." Didn't hit that well.
That was a bit of tension, wasn't it? Getting ever close to the
24.
point where he needs one more frame. If he knew that this was a good chance to win it at that visit. Now, if this had been early on in the match, he might take the cut on in the corner, but leading by 51? I don't think so.
Ali Carter, 24.
There you see it, 51 behind, but there's 75 remaining. He really dug deep last evening, did Stephen Maguire, when he was 14-7 behind. He'll be a little bit frustrated to have lost the last frame, but it's enthralling snooker for this packed audience here at the Crucible this Saturday afternoon. And he was prepared to battle it out last evening, but he's still got that fight left in him. And as I say, when your opponent still needs 2 frames for victory, it's not as if you know, one mistake and the match is over. So He's got to hang on in there, Stephen. Well, he's opened them up, but he's played that beautifully. Good length. The red just below and to the right of the pink is cuttable to the left corner. Needs to miss the baulk colour. Hasn't. And that's dangerous if you don't, because you leave the cue ball on the baulk line. There is a chance of a long pot here, and I think he may just be able to swing around a bit. That's the red I'm thinking of. He could play the pot here, or maybe the one just below it, either. Ooh, missed that by the proverbial mile. Now, Stephen Maguire, here's a chance for you. Here's a chance. If he gets anywhere near the pot, he will not kiss the black, but missed it by a long way, so that tells you a sign that...
You can't blame Ali Carter, who's been to the final before, but you know, he knows this now is a wonderful chance. It's 28 minutes, as you can see, since Maguire potted the ball. And you can expect a little bit of nerves to come in from Ali. Taking the chance to bring the difficult red out, and if he's not on the black, he's very, very unlucky. Surely he can cut this in, can he? If not, he'll have the raven needle and possibly try and pot the brown.
Well, I don't think he's on the black. The obvious shot is just play quarter ball off the brown and nestle up behind the yellow. Is he in the mood to do that? A brown to a middle pocket, a dangerous one. Cost him the last one, but I think he's playing the snooker this time. Just quarter ball off the brown, nestle up to the yellow. Well played. Well played. He played it well. Cut out the one cushion escape on the left-hand side of the table. Bit of self-control and discipline there was used. 50 points in front, Ali Carter. But he's got to solve this problem. And it's the age-old problem. It's not hitting the red. Can he get it safe?
He's going to have to err on it, and it thin on the right-hand side as we look from this commentary position. If it's on the left-hand side, the cue ball will be coming back up to the business end. So be erring on it very thin on the right. Well played. Absolutely wonderful. Okay, he's left a pot on, but it's not easy, especially when you're 50 points behind. But Maguire is going to have to dig really deep here. He's got no option but to take the pot on. If it goes in, he's got a chance.
Well, tremendous pot. That cue ball needs to slow up. It needs to slow up.
One.
Well, it did, but once again, not on a colour. Unlucky.
But once he's decided to take the pot on, John, he's surely got to play in the middle of the table. He would have not left anything on.
Yeah, well, I don't think the red went in clean. Maybe if it had gone in clean, well, he hit it probably thicker than he needed to, so yeah. But you can't blame him for erring on the side of safety. Can't blame him for that. Wouldn't want to roll up to the yellow, because then if you didn't get it, can he not get through to the black because of the knuckle of the corner pocket? And you'd be concerned if you were trying to play a snooker behind the black that you may go in off.
Stephen Maguire, 1.
Pretty clever shot, that.
Yes, we saw Steve Maguire early on play a power shot, and he saw his cue kind of almost bend with his strength. He hit it. This is another one. Just look at it on his hand here. He really gives that. It was a really powerful shot he played, and how he managed to get the white up to where he did, I don't know. But Ali Carter's in a little bit of trouble here.
Yeah, he's purposely left the cue ball there because he knew the pink was blocking the escape route down the right-hand side of the table. Not quite certain. Well, there's a gap, possibly, between the green and blue. I don't think he can get back to balk off that, can he? Was he playing the pot? Oh, well, would you believe it?
1.
Well, I'm afraid that is all that Steve Maguire needed. Can you believe it? He's had no luck. He's potted some terrific balls and couldn't get. And look at this. Nowhere near the pocket. Flicks off the other red and goes in. And finished absolutely perfect on the blue. You can't get your breath. You couldn't make it up this game sometimes.
One more look at this, and this is one of the best flukes you'll see today, or see in the tournament, especially at such an important time. I mean, Ali Carter's just rolled the blue in to put himself 55 in front with only 51 on. That is a body blow. That puts the frame beyond any reasonable doubt. Stephen Maguire, I'm sure he's won 7 frames on the trot sometime in his career, but in the semi-final of a World Championship, that's the equation. He won 7 on the trot against Stephen Hendry, but it was in the middle of the match. He certainly won't be getting out of his chair again in this frame. A very dejected Stephen Maguire, and you can't blame him for that fluke.
Ali Carter, 14.
Maguire did have a chance when he potted a couple of reds, didn't get on the black on 2 occasions. Eventually it's cost him, but Ali Carter's fluke was the key to that frame, and he goes 1 away from victory at 16-10.
Yes, and a wry smile from Stephen Maguire. What else can you do? Because that was one of the juiciest flukes that we've seen at all championship.
In times, snooker can be such a sick game. I mean, that was just, you're 15-10 down, fighting for your life, and then your opponent does that. I mean, you never seem to get it when you're 15-10 down. It's always, I mean, when you're 15-10 ahead.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
When you're behind, you always get the bad luck.
And how do you view the situation for Stephen Maguire now, Steve?
Not very good. I think the laugh that he gave there, he's resigned himself to the fact he's lost. He's been fighting a rearguard action all of this match, it seems. Ali Carter's been up to the job of keeping himself in front. He does look like the winner. I think he'd be deserved winner, forget any flukes and luck. You know, that's sort of the way snooker goes. But he's been cueing excellently, and I think from Stephen Maguire's perspective, you'll probably be disappointed that the good form at the start has sort of petered out a bit. Perhaps it was the excitement of beating and putting into retirement.
Yeah, well, maybe.
Stephen, I don't know. What do you think about it? Do you think you had your effect on him, sort of?
Yeah, perhaps he had a session off, didn't he, in his quarter-final, so he had too much time off in between that and his semi, perhaps. But yeah, and I think this frame now, you'll see Steve Maguire go for absolutely everything. I think caution to the win.
He's going to have to, because at this point in the match, as the game is slipping away from him, where do you see the negative point from Stephen Maguire's perspective? Where's he gone wrong, if at all, in this match?
I just think he seemed frustrated the whole match. He's just not been able to produce the form, his normal game. Ali Carter's done a good job on him, basically. OK,
well, Carter, 1 away from a place for the second time in the World Championship final. He was there in 2008, could be heading back once again.
aggressive attacking safety, but he's knocked the red over the corner. I don't think the red has come, or the yellow has come to his rescue in potting this red now. You can see it. Well, there's the fluke. Unbelievable. And that was the reaction from Stephen. Would you believe it? So, Ali first in, but I agree with Stephen Hendry. I think Stephen Maguire now will throw caution to the wind, and that's why he played that attacking safety, and he's saying, well, OK, the balls are open, Ali. You need one frame. I've opened them up. You get what you can, but if you miss, at least they'll be open when I get my turn at the table. But I think Ali Carter's a little bit cuter than that. He's potted that. He's not going to entertain the difficult cut on the blue to the left middle. He's just playing safe.
Rainbow.
Leaving that cue ball tight against the baulk cushion.
Ali Carter, 1.
I mean, when you say throw caution to the wind, you just can't play a shot that isn't the right shot to play. As we come in here on this wonderful arena. Thin on the safety, in and out of baulk. Didn't hit that well, but when you're this far behind, you're not thinking the type of game you do when you're in front and playing well. You're thinking nothing but negative thoughts. I was talking to Stephen last night after his session, and he was saying that he thinks he came into the match with the wrong attitude from the offset. Didn't give his opponent enough respect. It was an honest assessment,
1.
I felt, and you know, it's found him out in the end. Ali Carter has been up for this from frame 1.
Didn't really have any idea what was going to happen to the cue ball, apart from he knew he was going to kiss a red, which would avail good position to reds in the right-hand corner. Pink and
6.
black out of commission at the moment, so it's not a good chance to score.
Just looking at him, he may have a chance here to bring the black into play. I think he's got a nice angle on this red to the corner pocket where he could screw across and cannon that red that's just to the left of the black and bring the black into play. What do you think, Wills, Mr. Maximum?
I can't see the angle at the moment. Let's have a little look if we can have a look from the camera pocket angle. Yes, that angle's on, John, and it's worth the risk. Well, mind you, there's hampered cueing, isn't it? But he knows if he doesn't get the kiss right, he's got to play safe. Whereas if he took the other red, he may be able to get on the blue. But he knows it's the shot that could win him frame and match. Frame and match is now there for the taking. A chance to get to the final of this illustrious championship for the second time. In fairness, he's been a bit unlucky to push the red near that other red on the side cushion, so there's one more kiss needed to open everything up.
I think after the fluke in the last frame, I think little unlucky doesn't come into the vocabulary at the moment.
Four key.
What if he can miss again? Oh, he's missed this. He's missed this.
Ali Carter, 14.
I think that was the first sign of the old clincher's disease there. Got a little bit excited, Ali. Unmissable, this red. But at the semi-final of the World Championship, anything's missable.
One. Eight.
May have purposely played just to snick it off that red. It certainly
Nine.
makes the black a lot more available now into that corner pocket. We say in moments like this, just forget the score line and just concentrate on each ball at a time, but as you can imagine, easier said than done.
Sixteen.
Not all the pocket to aim at here, so he's got to be accurate with this. Yeah, and he was.
17.
No problem playing for the red that's near the top cushion, because that red near the left corner is making it look like a very big pocket from where this
24.
red is.
$25.
And the way he played it, it had to be big. Dear me, did that not 3 times? Maybe 4.
Well, we can possibly count now, can't we, John? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 times it jawed. That's unusual.
$33.
He'd love to win this frame at one visit now, because he'll obviously be steaming after the last frame. And there is another frame after this before the mid-session interval. Can Ali Carter close the match out before the interval? That's what he'd like to do, to give himself a lot longer to rest before tomorrow's first session of the final.
Yes, and as we saw from that last shot that Ali missed, you know, that little bit of nervous tension that gets in the arm, it, you know, he could do without using too much of that up.
41.
Because when you miss a ball like this, it's a shock to the system, believe me. No one likes missing easy balls. It just scars you for when you get in again, doesn't it, in a pressure moment? You think,
48.
hang on, I missed one of these. So far, Stephen Maguire has taken these beautifully.
49.
Just about on the black, but he's not perfect on this. I don't know why he didn't stun the red in and play for the black in the same pocket, but he's got to be careful here. Used all the pockets, it went in, he's just about on a red to the left middle.
56.
But that red was nearly on for Ali Carter. Nah. When you play that shot, trying to
Stephen
screw
Maguire,
them in
56.
like that, it just makes the pot that much more difficult. Could have rolled it in. Usually just the weight of the shot takes it in the pocket. So he gets a second chance, Ali Carter. Comes to the table 41 points behind.
1.
And of course, no need to tell you the awkward red. is the one on the right-hand side of the table as we zoom in once again.
Well, the next three reds, you can see Ali potting. And the red that's on the side cushion up near the green. Funny enough, the green is a better ball to play that move, that red into play. But where these last two reds are, there's no way of getting on the green to be able to move that last red out. So we're looking at possibly half ball black. Half ball black and nudge the red down. That's possibly the only chance he's got now in this break to bring the red into play.
14.
Well, just about to the angle you would think to force the cue ball for the red on the left, or near the left-hand side cushion. Yes, perfect. Played it nicely, and he's got a nice angle on this red, which means he can bring the cue ball a little bit away from the cushion so he can get his hand on the table, and looking for that angle that we were talking about, Willie. I think somewhere near that circle.
It's one of those, John, isn't it? The closer to the black, the better there.
23.
Because, you know, you've got to. It's a lot easier to play. I mean, I expect him to get this cannon, but whether he can push the red on is a different story.
Yeah, I'm just wondering whether he didn't get exactly in the middle of the circle we put up, and I don't know whether he's got the angle to move this red. Well, just about can force it, maybe. Ooh, missed it by a fraction. So the frame's still on.
30.
Stephen Maguire will come back to the table. Still 11 points in front.
It's pretty hard to play a telling safety shot here because the red will come and back up the table if he tries to screw in behind one of the baulk players, so he's had to play a little negative safety shot there.
Ali Carter, 30.
Knowing it just probably trying to contain the situation. Good reply, 30. Little puff of the cheeks there as he went back to his chair. Just beginning to feel it a little bit, and you know, you can blame him. He's played great in this match.
Well, excellent safety shot from Stephen. So Ali with a little bit of a problem, but of course he's not the pressure on these type of shots for Ali Carter as it is for Stephen Maguire. Ali just needs one more frame with a possible 7 to play. You think he'll be thinking, I'm going to get at least half a dozen chances to clinch this match, whereas Stephen Maguire knows that one more mistake and he could be on his way back home. Well, that's a mistake, and this red is on. It's definitely cuttable. He'd love to be on the brown. Will it bounce? The yellow will have to do. 12 points to lead. So he needs the yellow. He'll go back on its spot. What a shot that was. And it goes back on its spot because it was potted after a red. Didn't hold back on that. Now yellow, green and brown to keep his slim hopes alive. And every credit to Stephen Maguire, as he proved last night when he dropped 7 frames behind. You know, you wondered then whether he had the fight left in him, but he's played this frame very nicely.
17.
And he'll get plenty of support. He's the underdog at the moment.
23
And then goes the pin, so he keeps his slim hopes alive, as I say. Still got a lot to do. Ali Carter only 1 frame away from the final, but how long will it take for him to get it?
Well, Willie mentioned clincher's disease as we get towards the final here, but what is it like as you approach those closing moments and you can see the finishing line in sight, Steve?
I think sometimes you get over it quite easily. Other times there's hiccups along the way. What Ali Carter does know is that he's got a little bit of breathing space, so you know, not the time to get too disappointed and beating yourself up. He's going to have plenty more chances before the end of today.
Yeah, exactly. No panic at this point from his perspective.
No, but sometimes when you've got a big lead in a match and you only need 1 frame for victory, if you don't take the chance in the next frame, it's amazing how long you have to wait for another decent chance. So it'll be interesting to see how if Ali gets a chance as good as that in the next couple of frames.
Yes, because we know what Ali himself did to Judd Trump earlier in this particular tournament. He was well behind against Judd Trump and managed to fashion an amazing comeback, winning the last 4 frames. So he's seen it done before. There's always a glimmer of hope, especially with a player who relies on so much animal instinct as Stephen Maguire does, and he's a very dangerous player if he's in the mood. How long can he keep this going?
Well, if he wins this frame, he'll have 15 minutes to think about it, and he'll be disappointed the way he's played this afternoon. He's missed a couple of chances to get a lot closer to Ali Carter. Ali Carter's been playing these safety shots very thin all this match. Not this time, though. He played the thick safety shot for the first time, and look what's happened. Don't change your game plan now, Ali.
Possibility, if he can judge this correctly, he can retain position on the black. Depends how he feels about the pot. Easy pot, of course. Can he hold for the black? He's playing to hold for the black.
1.
He played it nicely. The only downside could be when the black's respotted. Is the red just to the right of the black going to be available? That's what he's trying to work out. Now, you'd love in this instance, wouldn't you, to say to the referee, could you just put something on the spot, let me have a look? But you can't do that. You've got to judge it yourself with your eye. But there are a couple of reds in the middle of the table, so not imperative he can play for one of those rather than this awkward red if it doesn't go.
Well, his face grimaces. It must be absolutely so very, very close to being a potable red. And when they're like that, I mean, do you risk playing for the red and then have the referee put the ball on the spot and it doesn't pot? So he hasn't risked it. He's tried something else. And I don't think there's going to be anything available, is there?
He's going to have a look now to see whether it would have gone. And
8.
If it does, he'll be annoyed. Yes, I think the hand-up tells you that he should have taken... He should have played for it.
Stephen Maguire, 8.
I think he's covered the red, and there you see it. That red would have gone, but he couldn't be sure, and that's why he didn't play for it, and that's why he said, there you go. But he had to judge it.
Yes, we've made plenty of bad decisions in our life. That one may haunt him.
went for the pot there. He went for the pot, and he's been fortunate. He'll be snookered next time he comes to the table, that looks for certain, but at least he didn't leave the red on to the right middle. Well, that literally took off when it hit the side cushion. And he was worried about hitting it too hard. And, well, I don't know whether he got the pace right or not, because it seemed to come off that cushion a lot quicker than it went on. This red is cuttable. And as I say, because he's got that cushion, let's have a look. Oh, it seemed to ping off it, didn't it? And that's why this red just about on. And in it goes. Well, he's not ideal on a colour. He's got a cut on the blue, but the cue ball being so close to the side cushion, he's not got much control of the cue ball. Don't think it's an in-off into the far right corner.
I was just going to say the same things, and I think the red actually could be a good stopper for him. He might be able to push that red on. I think you've got to take the blue on. You can't consider anything else. I mean, he'd be looking just to play at dead weight and just push the red over the corner. Well, decided to play it firm, and that meant the white went wider, and that's why it kissed the green instead of the red. If he played it slow, it would have been kissing the red.
6.
End of break.
Ali Carter, 6.
Well, it's quite a comfortable safety shot, this half ball off the red near the left-hand cushion. All about just getting the pace right and catching the red right, of course. Caught the red perfectly. And it looks like an excellent length. It looks like a beautiful length. Well played.
Well, without the jaws of the middle pocket, that cue ball would have been in and out of balk and on the baulk line. As it is now, I think he's covered the left-hand side, and this next safety shot needs to be a telling one, because it's tough to get back into balk.
I don't think there's going to be a safety shot, Willie. I think this red second right from the right-hand side cushion, I think Stephen will take this on. He could run round with 2 cushions beyond the black. It's dangerous. But it's a beauty. It's an absolute beauty.
Especially as he knew when he was playing that shot, John, that's likely to be his last shot if it didn't go in. And whatever he gets from this position, he thoroughly deserves.
9.
Yeah, we've seen this many times before when players a long way behind. Really, it's just pride that you're
16.
playing for.
7.
Maybe not really thinking he's going to win the match, because Ali Carter's maybe too far ahead, but you can only keep producing your best, and that shot has given him a chance to win this frame, and just keep Ali on his toes. Give himself a good chance, as you say, Willie. After that red, he deserves everything he gets. And he has the ability to win the frame at this visit. We know that.
25.
There's the red again. 7 foot 10 inches from cue ball to object ball.
41.
Beautiful. It was worth watching that because the last one he potted was quite easy. .40 points to lead.
38.
Pink's available into this
49.
corner pocket. When I referred earlier that Stephen was saying that he didn't treat his opponent with enough respect in that first session. When I say that, I don't mean you. Obviously, he's got great respect for Ali Carter, but you just sometimes go for that one shot too many, don't you?
45.
I think if you feel like you've got the upper hand on your opponent from previous meetings and
46.
you feel like you're playing better than him, you know, sometimes you don't give the player respect, do you? You probably think, well, I should win this match if I play well. All of a sudden, it's a shock to the system when you don't play well. But Ali Carter's game plan made him not play well.
That was the key. He had a strategy at the, particularly in the first session, Ali Carter, where it was a no-risk policy.
That black puts him 55 in front, and he hasn't played this particularly well. He's still on the red in the middle, but he's going to have to screw back.
53.
He needs red, colour red. That's that middle pocket that has caught him out a few times today. That one, though, to be fair, wasn't really close.
I think he was so disappointed he played such a poor shot, and as you can see there, didn't get into the cue ball at all, didn't screw back far enough for the black, he didn't get a kick. Just hit it poorly.
Still going to say his favourite for this frame, Ali Carter, playing safe, bringing one of the awkward reds into play.
Just a little bit thick on that red. He'd like to cover the right-hand side of the pack. Now, Steve Maguire would like to play this safety shot and cannon the pink safe, but whether it will go safe off this shot remains to be seen. That's what he's trying to do, you see. He's just pushed the pink safe, but it hasn't gone safe.
Certainly think there's a path to the 4 reds in the middle of the table, and of course it's to Ali's advantage to bring those reds into play, being behind by 55 points as he is.
And if we just get the telling safety shot in behind green and brown, he could force an opening here with a shot, and he's got the good length of cue ball. Okay, he leads by 55, but where the balls are, if Ali gets in first, I would suggest whoever pots the next red is favourite to win the frame. And that next red has gone to Stephen Maguire.
1.
Well, another fantastic pot. And as you see, tight under the cushion. Found the path around the ball, but you only find that path when you hit the red good. He's just having a look. This blue, well, it's tight, isn't it? Needs the blue and one more red. It's there, though. It is there. Well, take your hat off to you, Stephen Maguire, because this is
6.
superb. Mid-session interval after this frame.
Yes, having lost frame 26 the way he did. I wouldn't have thought he got much heart to carry on, but I remember after his he came back last night, he said, Scotsmen never lie down. And he's showing that here.
13.
Yeah, showed some battling qualities.
14. $21. 22.
Well, Ali Carter shouldn't punish himself having not clinched the match a little early, because, I mean, he came into this session leading by 4 frames. He's going to go out the session still leading by 4 frames. He knows he's going to get chances, but he'll be disappointed not to be already sitting in his hotel room now, thinking about the final tomorrow. But he's got to now regroup again and refocus, and that's probably a good job he's got Peter Ebdon in his corner. Just get him to calm down now. Biting in the nails, eh? Sort of, tension coming in there. You were nail biter, John?
Nah.
33.
Just coming up to 10 hours in this match has been going on.
34.
Well, we're going to get the mid-set interval, but when he led by 16-10, we didn't think we were going to get the interval. Ali Carter shared the session, but he still needs one more to win, and the mid-session interval score is 16-12.
And isn't it amazing how the temperament levels can swing so much in a match like this? You think Ali Carter there is on the cusp of the final, and he's the one that will be stewing a bit as he heads back to his dressing room, Steve.
Yes, but as Willie Thorne says, no real reason to worry. But I think from Stephen Maguire's perspective, he does look a bit calmer. As if, you know, you keep on playing, see what happens. But he's had to pull out 2 fantastic pots. Of course, if he'd have wobbed one and missed it, we could have been talking in different terms. But what about this for a first-run shot, Stephen?
Incredible. I mean, look at the reds. Look where he's leaving the white if he misses that. And this one as well. Phenomenal pot from under the baulk cushion. That's his strength.
Indeed, yeah. But really, from here on in, it is a high-wire act, isn't it? You can afford no mistakes at this juncture.
The intervals now has come at a great time for Ali Carter. As John Virgo said, he can now regroup, refocus. Sorry, it was Willie. Don't mistake them too. Yeah, he can regroup, because Maguire was on a roll there.
Yeah.
Potting ball, scoring. So, yeah, the interval's a bad time for Stephen, a good time for Ali.
Is there anything that Stephen might, in retrospect, have done differently, even towards the beginning of this session? Because it was those 2 key first frames that have put him under so much pressure.
Yeah, but as Steve says, he's relaxed a bit. You know, it was at the point of no return, so you know, then he's sort of resigned to the fact that he's just going to go for his shots and see what happens. Now he might get to the dressing room and think, oh, if I win the next frame, you know, I'm still in this match. So pressure starts to creep back a little bit.
And
during the match, at the start of the match, there was talk that perhaps he sort of forced the issue a fraction too much, and Ali Carter was sort of soaking it up like a sponge. It's very critical to say that you should have sensed that and changed your game accordingly, because you can only play the shots you see. And he's been knocking balls in and playing very aggressively. When they start to go wrong, you can't then say I'm going to change my shot selection on the spur of the moment. Yeah. But on hindsight, obviously perhaps you would argue that, but it's not like that when you're out there playing.
Yeah. Now, by contrast, when you look at Ali Carter, he has soaked up a lot of pressure throughout this entire championship. And, you know, we all remember his run 2008 to the final. He was absolutely a spent force by the time he got to the final, having had some serious hurdles to overcome along the way. How much fresher do you think he looks as the longer this championship progresses? Because that's obviously very important at this stage.
I don't think it's a matter of being fresher. I just think he's holding his temperament very well. I mean, you can see him a lot of times when he's out there. He's looking up to the balcony. Obviously, he's looking to Peter. He's getting instructions. You know, just keep calm. Your chance of cut. And I think that's why he's coping better. He's obviously had the experience of being there before. So yeah, I mean, I think this time, if he does get to the final, as it looks, he probably will do, he'll be better prepared.
Okay, well, as you will no doubt be aware, as we give them a chance to just have a little breather before they come back out for the last knockings of this semi-final, as you're no doubt aware, this man, Stephen Hendry, has hung up his cue for good. He did so earlier in the week. And, well, how do you define a 27-year-long snooker career? You could do it, in his case, with stats and numbers and all sorts of numerical things to be chucked in along the way. But really, I think his rivalry with another snooker great, Jimmy Whirlwind White, rather defines his era. Now, stand by for 10 minutes of nostalgia here, and I bet that some of you at home can remember where you were and who you were with when they were contesting some of their most famous duels of the 90s.
Oh yeah, it's better than working.
Come on! Come on! Hurry up, Larry, come on! Come on! Come on! Hurry up, Larry, come on! We're going down apart. We're going down apart.
Such a tough battle, and commiserations, Jimmy. It's his first final.
First time I met Jimmy was at the World Amateur Championship in Dublin. I was probably 14 or 15, and he was my hero. And I remember him. I was talking to a friend of his, and Jimmy sort of pulled the guy, says, "Come on, we're going out," and he sort of.
I didn't take you out, did I?
No, I said no. And yeah, he's my hero. And then the first time I played him was, I think, in Scotland.
I don't remember that meeting, but I remember him coming, you know, into form. I think he was 17 when you played Willie Thorne at the Crucible.
Yeah, 16 first time at the Crucible.
Maybe 16, and he only just lost to Willie, and we all knew then that he was going to be something special. It was 12 each, and I was banging trouble, and I knocked a ridiculous long red in and made 80.
Oh, absolutely colossal.
You must have thought, I'm just going to throw a caution to the wind.
Yeah.
Knocked him as a player.
There wasn't really a decent safety shot, because, you know, and in them days, me and you both went for absolutely anything anyway.
Oops. So handshakes all around. What a wonderful match. One could never see better. Well done, Jimmy White and Stephen Hendry.
Jimmy White and Stephen Hendry.
I always remember I'd beaten John Parrott in semis to become world #1. So that was sort of one ambition realised for me. And I remember going into the final against Jimmy, just totally relaxed, just thinking, I'm just going to enjoy it. This is going to be just so much fun. And yeah, I think we both, you know, played really good snooker.
Jimmy, there'll be another year, I'm sure.
Hope so.
How much longer is this fella going to hang on to? That's the problem, isn't it?
I'll be after him.
.14.8 up. I should have snookered him and I went for a long red. It was the wrong shot. He won that frame. And then I just, you know, I was playing so good, I didn't think, you know, and all of a sudden I started to think about who I was going to thank and who I was going to thank. And I'd completely lost focus then, and I couldn't get it back. So
I remember the last frame of the afternoon session to go 14-10. I played one of my best shots I've ever played in my career. I landed in the white in the knuckle of the middle pocket.
Potted the brown?
And I dropped a brown in dead weight for the red that was on the baulk cushion, where an easy shot was to come down, hit the black and snooker Jimmy. And it was one of those shots that obviously people say, oh, I can't believe he's taking this shot. And I look back at it now and I think, would I play the same shot now? Yeah. And it was one of the best shots I played in my career.
I thought you screwed a brown in as well, one of the frames. It might have been one of the other nightmares that you've caused upon me. I was struggling from then on to try and even regroup, refocus. I really was angry with myself for losing concentration.
And I knew that 90% of it, the crowd were for Jimmy, but I enjoyed it. The atmosphere was fantastic.
90% of them come with me. No, no, not. You know, it's great to have the crowd behind you. You know, now he doesn't win so much. He gets the crowd behind him now. You know, Steve Davis goes out, they all know him. He didn't talk to anyone when he was winning. Stephen always respected the fans, always was nice to people, and done his job. And the main thing I liked about Stephen, he was always practicing. You know, I wish I'd have done the same thing, but he dedicated himself, and that's why he got the results.
I mean, we have to say, I mean, our lifestyles then were completely polar opposite. I mean, you know, you'd admit that, wouldn't you? I mean, you know, but I mean, we did. I mean, but you know, some part of me regrets, you know, enjoying it a little bit more. But I mean, you know, it's just we're just different people.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, we've got on great, you know, through the years. And you're saying when, you know, Jimmy losing finals now, we used to see each other at the party like an hour later, and you'd never know Jimmy had lost the final. And I don't think I could have been like that, not at all. I had some friends up in the balcony, you know, my sort of 2% of the audience. I looked up to them and sort of gave them a sort of look, like a half smile, saying, "That's it, you know, I've lost." And obviously, I was devastated to lose as the final World Championship in the final frame. But you know, a part of me was, you know, glad that it was Jimmy that was winning it.
I've seen it since, and my cue is like 100 miles an hour. And I just rushed it, you know, and obviously when you hit the ball quick, under pressure you can twitch.
When he missed the black, I said many times, like someone stuck a rocket up my backside. I was off that chair so quick, and made one of the best clearances under pressure that I've made.
Yeah, not one ball wobbled.
Yeah. Well, the one with the rest, I decelerated a bit on a rest shot when I had to hold the white, and it sort of wobbled a little bit. I mean, the reds were, I mean, if it was a practice session, you'd do it 100 times out of 100. But obviously, the final frame of the World Championship, And also my sponsor promised me a Bentley if I was winning it as well. So that was, I was started thinking about that as well. It's terrible. You're supposed to win the World Championship, and I'm thinking, I'm getting a Bentley for this as well.
He was that much of a sort of a predator when you played Stephen. You know, if you showed any sign of weaknesses, he just got stronger all the time. That was why he was such a great champion and won so many World Championships.
He's beginning to annoy me.
I don't know, I used to love the nightclubs and the gambling, and you know, Stephen used to like picking up the trophies. You know, if I knew what I knew now, you know, the team behind me and all that, I would have made sure I had better preparation, and you know, I got prepared well for matches. I've always give other people good advice, but not my, you know, and done the opposite myself. You know, it was my own worst enemy. But I'm not complaining about that because I had fun. Vodka.
Absolutely great to see all of that again. It really was, Stephen. Thoroughly enjoyed it. How was the public's reaction and response to you shaped by that rivalry, do you think?
Well, I mean, as we said there, I mean, Jimmy he had there and always will have the majority of support. He's so loved by the snooker public. But it was just tremendous memories to be involved in all those finals. It was just, I mean, for a while, it was Jimmy and I dominated the game at the Crucible.
Yeah, you did. And, you know, relevant to this semi-final that we're watching now is that 92 final when you overhauled them with the 10 frames in a row. I just wonder, at 8-14 behind, what took over? What was it that enabled you to come back in such a predatory manner?
Well, you just get momentum. You win one frame, then 2 frames, and I could sense when Jimmy was under pressure. He started to hit the ball a little bit harder, and you sense things, and it gives you a bit of extra confidence as well.
Okay, well, fantastic memories there. It really was great stuff. And Peter Ebdon, a 2002 champion here at the Crucible, is firmly in the camp of Ali Carter here, and he's just gone into Ali's dressing room, perhaps giving a little pep talk, a few words of wisdom, as he's been doing actually for the last round or two here at the Crucible since he himself went out. So that's the situation, and we'll be back to that semi-final very shortly. But you know, this is a really big weekend of snooker for us here in Sheffield. It's the bank holiday weekend. We'll be engrossed in the final from tomorrow afternoon, but not just during the sessions, in between the sessions it's all about snooker as well.
There's certain times when you look in the mirror and you say to yourself, you know what, you're pretty good. The shoulders go back, the chest comes out and say, Bazza, nice one.
If Barry was chocolate, he would eat himself. He does love himself.
He's great at making you feel good in yourself.
I'll tell you what, the geezer on the right's better looking than the geezer on the left.
All the players realise that I don't think he really cares what our opinions are about most things. He's just going to do it.
He's come from a council estate in Dagenham and he's really built his life up and his career up from nothing.
Phil, how are you?
Pound for pound, he's delivered more excitement to the punter in the street than any other promoter.
Don't start looking over your shoulder and saying, oh, I should have done it. Do it or shut up.
That's so Barry, isn't it? And you'll be able to see it in between the first couple of sessions of the final tomorrow evening at 6:10, as you saw there. It just sums him up already in that trail. Have you seen it? Are you looking forward to seeing this documentary?
I am looking forward to it because whilst, of course, he puts on the image of being the hard man, he cries at Lassie films.
I can't believe that.
True.
All right, well, we're going to get a real insight into Barry tomorrow night, as I say. But let's get an insight into what's going on in the Carter camp, shall we? Because Peter Ebdon now talking with Rob Walker. I wonder what he has to say about his man.
Well, Peter, you've had a few moments in with Ali. Important time.
What did you say to him?
I think it's just a continuation of what we've been doing all week, really. And, you know, Ali is doing the talking out there for himself. You know, he's very calm, he's very confident. I think his match play this week has been absolutely superb. I still can't get over the green and brown he potted in the first frame. I mean, that green was almost straight, and how he got the action and power into the cue ball there was just incredible. Played a deep screw shot with right-hand side to force an angle, and then the brown he knocked in was incredible. Every credit to Stephen Maguire. He's shown what a world-class player he is. He's just knocking some incredible long balls in. Great match player, and it's been a fantastic match.
When you get to within one frame of a World Championship final, how hard is it to maintain your focus and not start thinking about tomorrow? Well,
absolutely. Ali's just got to keep doing what he's been doing all week. He needs to keep playing the right game, and I think he's been playing the right game this week. He's been making it very difficult for all of his opponents, and I think he's been playing world-class match play. So his thought process obviously doesn't need to deviate at all from that. He's just playing great snooker. I'm, you know, very, very proud of him.
OK, well, best of luck for your man.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
OK, well, Peter Ebdon with those few words of wisdom. It's actually an interesting point. Peter clearly has a career in coaching, or at least sports psychology. Yeah. Of the other players currently at the moment, who do you feel would be a perfect fit to perhaps go on after their careers into coaching? Ever thought about it, Steve? I just thought I'd throw that at you.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, that's all right.
I suppose it's down to the individual, if it's something that would interest you at all. I'm not too sure that I could... I don't know, as a player, I couldn't get involved with another player. That's quite a strange thing for Peter Ebdon to do, but it's something I think he's always got a fascination with sports psychology. Yeah. So perhaps it's something he feels is sort of like something he's going to enjoy in the future.
I guess it's something, if you can derive satisfaction from the efforts of others, obviously that's the essence of coaching. I'm not sure, Stephen, you might be kitted out for that.
No, not really. I've never been enjoyed other people's success, so I might find it difficult.
I think it would be fair to say, myself as well, I do begrudge anybody winning the World Championship other than myself, and I know Stephen's the same.
Absolutely.
All right, well, the 13 world titles between you sitting here, I can understand that. Let's get back. Who's going to make it to the World Championship final tomorrow? Back to William John.
Yes, thank you, Hazel. Although I'm sure Steve Davis and Stephen Hendry could give a lot of advice to up-and-coming players, but they're keeping their secrets to themselves. Meanies.
Nothing's changed over the years, has it really, John?
Nah. Well, if there's a slight angle on this, he can play to get back up, but it looks pretty straight to me, this. Oh, well, I was going to say, that's how straight it was. Cued it perfectly, but just couldn't make an angle.
Well, to hit that centre ball the way he had to hit centre ball, any sort of, just a touch of side, that white wouldn't have kept true. And once again we see the cue kind of moving all over the place, but look at that, not an ounce of side on there. Beautifully struck. And that'll give him, even though it's got enough, it'll give him a bit of a confidence should he get another chance in this frame. He can't believe he's hit it that good.
Just got the safety shot a fraction too thick, but it just sneaked past the green. Peter Ebdon, after doing that interview with Rob Walker, has just got back in his seat. He was just able to bend it, and okay, we might criticise players for not finding the baulk cushion, but such was the situation Stephen Maguire was in there. Did well not to leave anything on.
Well, amazing enough, he's looking at a 5-ball plant here to go a half ball off the other red. Those 4 reds that are in a kind of almost like a snaky pattern, he's trying to kiss off the other red. So it's a 5-ball plant in off the 6th ball. They wouldn't spot this at Paul, would they? Oh, we missed the red. He missed the red. He didn't get the final cannon.
But the blue may have come to his, well, I say he's come to his rescue for the red over the left corner, but there's one to the right corner that's possible. The blue certainly covers the one to the left corner. But as I say, this one to the right corner, half ball pot, one that he's been knocking in quite regularly. Let's see how he's feeling after that mid-session interval.
Wow, I expected him to roll it in. I mean, the pace he played it. Wow.
Well, the bump of the middle pocket has just left the cue ball in the middle of the table. Thin cut on the blue, but you fancy him to pot it. Play a little cannon on the pink and the red to hold the cue ball in the middle of the table. Played it nicely. It's one of those situations, particularly when you're looking for that one more frame, where just concentrate on the loose reds, build up a useful lead. The black's tied up. He won't be bothered about bringing that into play. Just concentrate on blue and pink for the time being. He knows if he can get 40 or 50 points here, he'll make it a big favourite for the frame. And of course, the match.
Seven.
Yes, as John mentioned, he can get 5 or 6 pinks here without any problem.
Thirteen. 14.
So Peter Ebden will be looking on, and Ali's camp will be feeling quite comfortable at this moment. That's the players' guest balcony. Good view of the table. Just chipping away at these reds. 24-point lead at the moment.
20.
May have the bonus of getting through the gap of the pink and red to the other red over the corner here. Didn't play for that one. Well, not quite. He can't quite see it. But he's playing the secondary red for the pink in the middle.
21.
A little bit further away from the cue ball than he would like, but under normal circumstances this would be straightforward, but we've seen Maguire miss one dead straight into the middle. Well, you saw the big intake of breath there, just to calm the nerves, get the adrenaline in check.
28.
And that's what you've got to do. You've got to, concentrate on your breathing. Well, he's done what can be considered to be the easy work. Now the hard work starts after this next red. He's going to have to, there's a little breathe in, big intake of breath. The work starts from here.
$35.
It looks like he's got a nice angle on this pink. Doesn't want to bring all the reds into play, but if he's got the nice angle, he's got to play the cannon with pace. And it goes, yeah. Well, he's got one, I think. Well, he's certainly got one to the right corner, possibly
41.
got one to the left corner. They split nicely, those. He could win the frame at this visit now.
Yeah, couldn't ask for much more than that, John, could he? There you see the top spin taken. And he hit that red full on the face, which meant it opened the black as well. He won't be concentrating on anything but the pink. Another 4 pinks will be enough to get him into the final.
Thank you. 42.
Nothing he can do. Just got to, well, hope, I suppose, that Ali Carter makes a mistake and gives him one more chance to stay in this match. It's looking increasingly unlikely.
Just 3 more good positional shots. That's all he needs here.
48.
3 reds, 3 pinks, and he's in the final. That's been the difference in the match, hasn't it? That 89%
49.
from Maguire. Very unlikely a player wins matches with a pot success rate less than 90%. Maguire will be disappointed with that.
2008, Ali was in the final. What a year that was for him here at the Crucible. Made a maximum break. Lost in the final that year to Ronnie O'Sullivan. And it's not big odds to suggest that he won't be facing that same opponent in the final tomorrow and Monday. He's got a lot more experience now. And he's used all that experience in his match against Judd Trump, in his match against Jamie Jones, and carried it on with his performance against Stephen Maguire. He's becoming the all-round player and a very, very tough competitor and hard man to beat. Red, colour red for a place in the final.
$56.
Well, he was reluctant to play for the black there, wasn't he? Decided to come out for the pink in the middle. It would have been a lot easier to play for the black, but the black, obviously not on its own spot, is slightly more difficult, but this pink is tricky.
Well played, Ali Carter. Looks certain now that he's made his way to the final. Spare a thought for Stephen Maguire. He just didn't have the best of it in the first couple of sessions. But he came back and fought very hard, but it was too little, too late.
Well, his friends and family and Peter Ebden, we saw a quick look at those there.
69.
And they're certainly all in the pink at the moment, isn't there? Because that's all he's done, 1 blue and all pinks. It's been a very, very good break.
70.
Well, he's missed the ping, but it won't matter. He's
Green,
walking towards Stephen Maguire. He will shake his hand and say, well played and best luck in the final. Stephen Maguire, disappointment once again for the Scot. But Ali Carter gets a standing ovation from his team around him, and he'll be very pleased with that performance. It was a very professional performance, and he's through to the final. Wins 17-12.
Well, congratulations, Ali Carter, and many commiserations indeed for Stephen Maguire, because he's had a great championship with Stephen, and he's just failed once again to make it into the final. But it's Carter who's going to be the first man in. Initial reaction to that?
Great performance. You have to admire the match snooker that he's played. Someone's not happy with the result.
No, exactly. I think that's a Maguire fan.
No, a great performance. I mean, I commentated in his first session, and he did turn down a lot of pots, but well justified. You could see that he frustrated Stephen Maguire, and for the rest of the match, just kept him in front the whole way.
Yeah, very clever performance indeed, and well done, Ali Carter. Let's get reaction now. He's with Rob Walker.
Ali, 4 years on, you're back in the big time.
Yeah, a little 4 years older, bit more experience. Obviously, I didn't have an awful lot of expectations coming here. I knew I was hitting the ball well, and people back home who was, watching me and helping me around the practice table knew that, I was hitting the ball well. So it's nice to come here and produce a bit of that on the table and be in the final.
Tiny bit of nerves at the end of last night, the way Stephen came back into the session?
Yeah, of course. I mean, 14-7 up, you're a long way ahead, but you just want to nick every frame, because I really wanted to be 15-9. But, if you go to bed and you're 15-9 up, the match isn't won, All you think about is, like, Paul Hunter lost from 15-9 up to Ken, and, Stephen's a good player. You see the 2 or 3 frames he reeled off there and just potting unbelievable long balls. But I just stuck to my guns, and, I'm pleased to be through.
Earlier this year, when you were contemplating retirement or maybe a sabbatical with the Crohn's disease, would you have believed that come the end of the season, you'd be in the Sports Showcase final?
Well, not really. I was in a bad place before Christmas, but, I've got my nut down and worked hard at my health and my fitness, and I'm in the right place for this mentally. So, I've got a great help behind me, my friends and Peter Ebden. I've got the force behind me, haven't I?
Enjoy tomorrow.
Cheers.
Yeah, the force, Peter Ebden, that's his nickname. And actually, Rob makes a very good point. We've talked about it all week, and it's an almost miraculous recovery from a terrible place that he was in just a few months ago. He's gone on an exclusion diet, no wheat, no dairy. And what a turnaround in his fortunes and his health, Steve.
Yes, and apparently the wheat thing is gains momentum, doesn't it? It's something you shouldn't be having so much of, and who knows? But a lot of people are saying they get benefits from it. Yeah. Don't suppose the bread companies will be too happy.
Absolutely. Okay. Now, as we look forward to this final, Ali's in there. Now, we remember his performance against Ronnie O'Sullivan 4 years ago. Ronnie was the winner then, 18 frames to 8. How much more experienced is he, and how much better equipped is he to compete in a final this time, Stephen, in your view?
Well, you've been there. That's the one thing. It's sometimes you can be, if it's your first time, you can be a little bit rabbit in the headlights. And obviously, it came up against O'Sullivan, who was playing phenomenal snooker. He beat me in the semi-final, playing impeccable snooker. Obviously, Ronnie's not won yet, but it looks like that's who he's going to play. So he looks determined, Ali, and he won't be allowed to slack off if Peter's in his corner.
Absolutely, yeah. Your view of that?
Yeah, Ali Carter looks like he's in control of his emotions, and all of a sudden he knows he's probably going to be playing Ronnie O'Sullivan. I think he'll probably enjoy another crack at him in some respects. We know for where Ronnie seems to be in a good place in his mind and seems to be very balanced and hasn't got ahead of himself. So you'd expect a tough final. If Ali Carter did play a slightly more tactical game in the early stages of that match against Steve Maguire, he's probably going to have to come out with new tactics against Ronnie. And I think the one thing you have to do against Ronnie is just to try and play as well as you can and see where it goes. But he's got to outplay him, that's for certain. OK,
well, obviously we're talking as though Ronnie's in the final. He's not yet, clearly. He's 15 frames to 9 up against Matthew Stevens. But as we've seen, if Ronnie were to do it, well, his percentage record in finals is absolutely spot on. 3 finals, 3 world titles. He's given us some great memories here over the years.
I always dream of playing at Sheffield when you're a youngster. I was watching it on the telly when I was about 7 or 8, watching it, Bill Werbenick and all that era, really. Yeah, remember it then. But they weren't good memories of me playing at Sheffield in the early days because I wasn't
playing to as good a standard as I used to, so, you know, I never really enjoyed it, to be fair. Still don't really get massive enjoyment out of it. It's more of an endurance and a relief when it's over than actually enjoyment. But everybody wants to be world champions, so you have to just go through it, I suppose. Venue's not great. You know, it's a nicer little arena. You've got 900 people in there. It's not as big as everyone thinks. Really, Sheffield's not a fantastic tournament. It's just it's the World Championships, and you know, everyone wants to be world champion. You can't afford to be too emotional about it, really. I know. In an ideal world, people like you to get emotional and, you know, talk about this and talk about it, but really, you can't afford for that. You know, you're just there to be professional and try and put that aside and just do what you got to do. I think about the history of the game, but not actually the place. You know, because I've looked back, and Joe Davis was their first real class snooker player that come along, so you know, I look at the history in the snooker in that way. He won 20 world titles, and then obviously Ray Reardon, Steve Davis, Stephen Hendry, and so I've looked at the history and what people have achieved in their game, but never really just because it was a crucible. I suppose one of my worst moments was when I missed the pink on a 147 against Hendry. About 2 weeks later, I was thinking, I could have done with that 170 grand. Would have been nice. Best moment, obviously, I suppose it's got to be winning 3 of the tournaments, I suppose, and I don't know, you know. Yeah.
And that's the situation going into their final session tonight. Marty Stevens is going to have to, well, come up with something extremely special. And I know Ali Carter mentioned Ken's victory from the same scoreline against the late Paul Hunter a few years back. That was, well, certainly lived long in the memory, that one, I tell you. But is there any way back, in your opinion, for Matthew Stevens this evening?
No. That's it. I think he's got to play perfect snooker. But can you give Ronnie 6 frame start when he only needs 2 to win?
More, yeah.
Don't think so.
Steve?
No, I don't think so either, but that's not to take anything away from Matthew Stevens, who's played superbly this season, and he must be very proud of his performances, whatever. But from my perspective, Ronnie O'Sullivan so far has played the best snooker of the tournament. He hasn't really been troubled in this tournament. Whoever he comes up against, if he does get to the final, he'll be all over them. So I think, you know, in my perspective, we saw Ronnie O'Sullivan. He's very best in the semi-final and the quarter-final. I think he's the winner. That's as I speak.
Yeah. Temperament, so impressive, obviously, for the last few weeks. Right, well, that's it for us for today. Rishi Prasad will be here at 7 o'clock this evening, with Ronnie needing only 2 frames for victory against Matthew Stevens. Ronnie aiming to become, at 36 years and 3 months, the oldest world champion this weekend since 45-year-old Ray Reardon in 1978. He's got to get past the Welshman first of all. You'll see it all live, BBC 2 from 7 o'clock. Meanwhile, from Stephen and Steve and me, ta-ra for now.